Hello, Clarence Farrington. My name is Sarah Bathelemy.
And I'm Joseph Luzier. We are so excited because today we are going to be talking to you about theater, fashion, and film careers.
Theater, fashion, and film are the topic that's coming up in our country right now. It's popular, everyone's buzzing about it, and we thought we would share our insights.
Alrighty, so question one that we've got here is, what does it mean to be an artist?
To be an artist means multiple things. I think there are several definitions of artistry, and it comes from within, and you showcase it by either showing it to the world or showing it to yourself.
Right.
You know? And you don't necessarily have to inspire to like be this great phenomenal artist, as long as whatever you produce, you know not where it came from, but also like knowing that it's a part of you.
Right, so it's like an expression of oneself.
Yeah, basically.
I think for me that's the same, like it's the same, but it's also, being an artist is expressing what is beyond words, like whether that's a feeling or an idea that you have, something that you just simply can't express by telling someone about it. Whether that's through drawing or painting or performance, music, dance, fashion, all those things are equal arts, and expressing yourself through them is so meaningful and important. I do have to ask, like, what do you do as an artist to fulfill that for yourself?
As an artist, I do a bit of everything. I think in my case, I can't necessarily stick to one thing because I have so many feelings. So I think it's important to express them in different ways. So I do a little bit of theater, I do dance, I draw a little bit, I do a lot of makeup. So I do face charts and I do makeup for models and stuff like that. And sometimes, if I have the time, I'll make some clothes.
Okay, wow. Well, you're very fashionable, as we can all tell. But
Thank you.
for me, what I do as an artist revolves, like a lot of artists, around my own experiences. So when I have an experience that I want to share with people or that I want to decompress from, my art is the way I do that. And I feel like every experience changes us. You know what I mean? And so our art will change as well, because our art is a reflection of us in a way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I use art to decompress. And the art that I make to decompress changes every time I have a new experience or a new feeling that I want to put into it.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you for thinking. Alrighty, so question 3 says, how do you start? Where do you gain inspiration?
It starts with a feeling. And especially when I start a new like art medium, I think that's the best term to use. It starts with a feeling. A lot of times, especially, let me backtrack. I'm going to use this, my makeup as an example. So before I was doing a lot of theater, and then I started like understanding different parts of myself, and that reflected through my makeup. And I was like, okay, cool. What can I do with this? And so the feeling that I had at the time while I was doing makeup, I encompassed that within like the face charts that I make, the makeup that I do on like other people, obviously sticking to a theme that I'm given, but it's still like the goal is to help people feel with what I give them.
I think it's really difficult to capture a feeling from that moment in time, you know what I mean? And art helps us do that, so that's a really good way to articulate that. How do you go back in time, in a sense, to capture that same feeling? You know what I mean?
I would say by journaling. I journal a lot. Just making sure that I have like a physical copy of feelings that I've had, especially new feelings. Because I do take a bit of time to process like new information, especially if they're like harder topics or something new that like I've never experienced before. I have to write it down. I have to, so that I can go back over it and be like, okay, this is what I was feeling. Let me capture it. Or with social media, back to social media, if it's a specific like video or picture that I saw, I'll take a screenshot. And I'll be like, okay, watching this for the first time, this is how I felt. I recount it. It's like going back
Wow,
Like,
that is so mindful. What a mindful way to consume like the
thank you.
content you do.
I try to do my best because you should always be mindful on the internet. Um, but it really helps, and it helps to like in a way stay grounded and stay focused on um what your vision is and
Yeah.
what you truly like, what you're trying to get at with the art that you're creating. You know?
Yeah, it's really easy to just get lost in mindless consumption when you're scrolling on social
Yeah.
media or when you're watching TikTok or YouTube Shorts or when
Yeah.
you're playing Roblox.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I love a good Roblox. Okay?
Listen, dress to impress.
Dress to impress. Pose 29.
Every day,
Right?
Right. But we're connecting with the youths.
Exactly.
It is just very difficult to, or very easy to get lost in that mindless consumption. So taking a screenshot, I'm actually going to start doing that from now on, I think.
It's really helpful. Like,
Yeah.
and I have a folder of like everything like that I screenshot.
Wow.
Example, I'm in the process of creating like an outfit right now, and I take screenshots of like multiple different like pieces that I see and like trying to create something new out of everything. And so I have a folder of everything that I've taken a screenshot that's like inspired me to make this new outfit, and literally so accessible to me. I don't have to go back onto like TikTok and like try and find it and then get sidetracked by like
Right.
going to my For You page. It's already in my phone.
Right.
You know, it's amazing.
That's great. I mean, I don't craft outfits like that. I kind of just like look what's in my I guess that's why you're so well dressed all the time.
Thank you.
Fashion is so unique in that way. I mean, my style and your style are so different, and it probably is because we draw inspiration from the different things we see, and also because you plan your outfits out in such a wonderful way. Speaking of like fashion and stuff like that, what are some other roles that are in the creative industry? Like what are the types of roles that you see in the arts besides, you know, the ones that we think may be obvious, like actors or painters or things like that?
I would say I'm going to speak on this because this is what I'm currently working on. I'm with a fashion group right now that fashion/creative group where we just highlight artists within the area. So I get to work behind the scenes and I see artistic directors and videographers who like schedule the shoots and who take videos and pictures of everything, and they organize a schedule for people to come in and what we're doing. They make lookbooks. I don't know if you know what a lookbook is, but a lookbook is just like a folder, a video folder, an audio folder. It literally could be whatever medium that you have of ideas or inspiration that you have for a project that you have coming up. Super helpful. And having access to that and seeing all the hard work that they put in to make this one vision come alive I have so much respect for people who work like behind the scenes. And like it seems like they don't get the recognitions, but everyone who's working on it, we see you, girl. Like we see you. You are putting in your blood, sweat, and tears in this. And I think, especially being in my senior year, these roles aren't something that are highlighted. So I didn't really know anything about these roles when I first like started college.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, the only things that like are shown are like performer and then maybe some tech people.
Right.
Maybe.
And that is such a small portion of the art industry and what happens in the arts and how it happens and how it can happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and like you said, it's very important to see those people and to give them their flowers because what we do just would not be possible without the people like the artistic directors and people like producers and accountants and stage managers and dramaturgs. The dramaturgs are people who they define a piece historically and they give performers or artists or anybody really interested in knowing more about it the historical context of a piece and what it can mean. Those roles are just so important to what we do, and it would be impossible without them.
Literally.
Yeah.
I've tried to look and do that stuff myself, and I'm like, I don't know how you do it. Yeah. I really don't. And it's so like nice to see that like there's also a technical side to art as well.
Yes.
And that can be used in so many different ways. Like you don't have to like be this great artist. You can use whatever skills that you have and incorporate it within art.
And honestly, it's an art itself to
Yeah.
be able to bring someone's artistic vision to life in a way that they cannot themselves. It's crucial, and it must be so fulfilling to be able to do that for someone.
Yeah.
And in your own way, your touch, your own artistic vision is like they merge and mesh because their artistic vision is impossible without you doing it. And when we say that, I believe we're speaking for like technical designers or
Yes.
lighting specialists or set designers, anybody who has their actual physical hands on making an artistic vision for a performance or a gallery curation come to life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
I
Right.
have a question for you.
A question for me.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, Sarah.
So when it comes to your art, why did you start? How did you start? And what would be any advice for someone starting?
Right. Okay. That's
your
such
art
a good
medium.
question. I'm going to focus specifically on 2D art here because
Okay.
I feel like the kids of Clarence Farrington School for the Arts may have a little bit of relation to this. Back when I was in elementary school, I mean, even before then, I remember I've just been drawing my whole life. It was something I've always loved, and in particular, it was horses, and it's still kind of true for me. I know this is so like goofy and maybe dumb, but well, no art is ever dumb. But I remember all my time was sitting down and drawing a picture of a horse whenever I could. I would get photo books from the library of animals, horses, and I would draw dogs. They'd look like a horse, and it would be I would just do that for hours and hours and hours, and then eventually I expanded into other things like people, I guess. But I remember loving doing it so much and knowing that this is what I wanted to do. And as I got older, my expectations became, I don't want to say more realistic, but more conducive to like adult life. Knowing that I would eventually have bills to pay and knowing that that would be difficult to do as an artist, I expanded, I looked into other things, and I realized you can be an artist regardless of whether you're doing that professionally or not. And I tried to do that for a very long time. It's just, I found that I don't think I could live a fulfilling and happy life without doing it as my medium. However, it's totally possible to live a fulfilling and healthy life without art being your entire life. You can go out and do other things. You can, you could be an accountant, which is what I'm studying to do. It's just, I don't think I could live without doing art. And that is how I got started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to get my hands in there. And you don't have to always have wanted it, but you do have to really want it, I think, in order to be successful and want to work really hard.
I agree.
How about you? How did you get your start?
I got my start through church.
Oh, wow.
Actually, yeah. So, first generation Haitian American here, moved here when I was 2 years old to America from Haiti. And I grew up in the church, so doing dance, like praise, worship, gospel dance, singing. My parents, they sang a little bit, but my dad played guitar, and my brother plays drums, guitar, bass, and piano. And so,
Wow.
very musical family.
Yeah.
Always music around, always like singing and stuff. And as a young kid, I didn't really have access to like theater or like dance or anything like that. But I found a way. Like I'm a very persistent person, so if I want to do something, I'm gonna find a way to do it. So I would go online and watch dance videos and that like teach you how to dance, and then I would go to the library. Oh my gosh, I would go to the library and get books that taught you how to draw, like the manga, like drawing.
Oh my gosh, I remember those.
I was really into the manga books. I was
Right.
like, let me learn how to draw a nose.
What
or
other
an
kind
eye.
of resources for artists would you say are found at libraries and stuff like that?
Oh, this is gonna be really foggy for me because that was a really long time
I
ago.
remember when you could check out like VHS tapes. Do you
Yeah,
guys
I
know what a
think you could-
VHS tape is? I
Probably
remember
not.
it was a kind of like a DVD where you could put this video tape, this squared tape. I can't even call it a tape. They don't know what that is.
No.
Square box, and you slid it into it. and you slid it into another square box.
Yeah.
And the square box would play a video.
Yeah.
I wonder if they had any like dance videos or if they have something like that at Clarence Farrington.
They probably did. They probably had like, I think they would most definitely have like those 90s like workout like videos.
Right.
They would, I just know 100%. Like if I went and I was like, can I get Billy Banks? Who's a popular workout guy back in the 90s.
No idea.
Yeah.
not a clue.
There are a lot of, I think mostly because of like with the library and such, like I'm from a smaller town, so they probably like, I'm guessing like didn't have like the like playtime like bigger libraries have. Like I know Orlando, the library here, there's a ton of resources for like students. But back in my hometown, you can go get some books and read. And honestly, I loved it. I loved reading. I read a lot as a kid.
I love to read.
It's
a wonderful time to read too when you're a kid because you have so much time to do it. And you know, and you could find new things to inspire you like we do with social media or like we do with seeing other people perform. The public library is a wonderful resource, and I think the kids at Clarence Farrington School for the Arts should maybe try to utilize it. I wish I did when I was a kid.
Yeah, libraries are fun.
Libraries are great.
Very fun.
All right. So I think that's going to be it for us, unless you have any other questions for me.
No, I think that's all.
Great, and I don't have any more for you, so thank you, kids of Clarence Farrington, for tuning in. We enjoyed talking to you, and we hope you guys continue doing art for the rest of your lives.
Bye.
Bye.
Wait, post 28.